Dumelang, re a o amohela ho temana e nngwe hape ya lenaneo la rona, leo lemohisang ditokelo tsa hao jwalo ka moreki, hore o tsebe ho nka diqeto tse tjhatsi ka tjhelete ya hao. Re ikemiseditse ho tataisa hore o tsebe ho etsa rands with sense. Lebitso la ka ke Mmarona Kgwele. Ka jwale re bua ka ho etsa rands with sense. Re ntse re le mona Motse Kapa, mme ka jeno re teana le mohlankana ya tswellisitseng ditoro tsa hae pele. Abram Molelemane wa lemo tse 26 o hlahetse Limpopo moo a holetseng teng ka ntle le ntate. Empa seno ha se ka sa thibella Abram hore a tswellise ditoro tsa hae pele. Ka jeno o iphumana a na le kgwebo ya media le design. Sehlopha sa rona se lebile mane Muizenberg ho kopana le Abram, moo a tla re phetela pale ya hae le sephiri sa katleho ya hae.
Re kopa o re bolelle ka wena gore o mang o tswa kae?
Leina la ka ke nna Abram Molelemane ke tswa ke le Limpopo. Ke founder and managing director ya Godfella Production Studios, yellow the media and design company, yellow the based in Cape Town. College in a township here by Mijaloke, Toronto. Kitsani primary Karana from primary Kabuvela Lewaho Bubolo Kidile High School Yaka. SJ Fundamental Technical High School. From SJ Fundamental, I moved to university, University of Technology, Molelemane, I studied journalism, completed diploma in 2012, I graduated in March the following year. I graduate, Yaba Tabelo Alexander. But jolo ke leborile ke tsheke station lore gore da ke kre moshobo ke tsere degree fela or la diploma fela I enough to the tlhoka le experience ba bona. So go tlhaelo ba fello ke felletsa ke berekela magazine bo ba ke World's First magazine. It was an unpaid internship for a period of 3 months. So the plan was negative there for 6 months, but then got to a point of working there for 3 months. I was tired just for working without getting any pay. So what I did, I started applying for the opportunities anywhere elsewhere. And like I told my as an intern. I actually intended in a kicker at 3.5, which 2.5 in a year whole accommodation for rent money. Then the rest in this region, chelete ya transport, ya dijo, la okataka skipanya. So you can imagine from 1.5 in the chelete in a CH Kamuho Gahola survive. That's why they can hold out the center from high. It was never consistent, okay, every month from Raya this much. You know, in terms of emergencies, because already the kilo of medical aid in the kilo on my own. Kinakakidia gave a permanent kakra 7,000. Bonori in the Lina flow, Kakona Patana rent, Kakola Roki save la Jana as well, Bonobula account every month, Kono saver. Bolo wikile ka khona lo seva enough bolo ka ke thakela camera you know le something lo le ke nya ka from ke sale o bonyana ke sa ola lo le ke nya ka camera ka tshine ke le bo fetola ke ba ka la fetola ene ke le kgwebanyana ka ya photography ka ba site bolo re itse nako e ya tswela pele mo lo re bjale ne ke thoba go kry di-client tše dintšhi mo lo bjale batho ba go founela mmereko go ke ntše ke bereka so e ba tebelo bjale ke palela ko dia mošomo a fetola ebile ke dia le mmereko wa ka taba ya pressure so ke ile ka feletša ka bolelo ntho e petele kore ke focus e fully mo kgwebo yaka although kgwebo ya rena e thomile e le idea photography e go tšile mo e le gore re feletše re dia re offer things tša go tshwana le bo design mo le re designa bo di-business cards bo di-website mo le re feletše re dia media and PR mo le re feletše ebile re dia le music production le talent scouting and management I think lo tše ke di tlile once ke tlhakana le boberekišana ka bare ke kganyo le yena o bereka ka design ke ne ke bona kgatlhego le kganya naene le yona go ntolene ke dia and le nane ke ne le kgatlhego go mmerekong wa gage so it got to a point mo le ke ile ka dula fase ka bolelena ka re mona nna ke rata mošomo gago o ka rata bjaka nna nka promota mošomo wa gago mo platformong yaka ya Godfather Productions ebile tebelo gore a ba le bothata ka yona ya tebelo gore ke bjale ke thoma promota mošomo wa gage so fitlhile gana mo ke bolo okay bjale re bereka as 50-50 partners so Godfather Production a sa dia photography fela bale ba thelo tša bo di design as well and bo di art as well e re tšere mengwaga mebedi gore re ka kgona go stepilesa kgwebo ya rena mo le gore bjale re kgona go kry-a lo tša tshwane le bo di-profit ka nako ka moka e ne re pusha tabela gore nyoko build a portfolio for company ya rena but go ile go tla sebaka se le mo lo re kry-a di-client tše le ba nyoko patela so ile re thoma ka mokgwa ya bantu le it's constant okay e thoma go kry-a mo di-client ke tabela gore ke ba patela yana it got to a point mo le gore bjale ne ke tšhelete ne ke kry-e ne kgona go sustain ebile ke kgona go sota go phetša mabaka ka kwalo mo le gore ne go sa le botlhokwa le gore motswadi ka kwa gae a ka sendela mašheleng
ke mathata a feng a ne bo o kopane le ona ha ntse o godisiwa ke motsadi o esi
nka re di-challenge tše ke tlhakaneng le tsone le ditaba tša tšhelete nako e ntšhi lo tša tshwana le gore ne ke pala go na le lo tše dingwe tše le gore ne ke pala go ka le hwetša gobane motsana ka na bereka a e le tee and ne go na le lo tše le lapela go ka di afford e na bereka tsena sekolo at the same time so I can imagine lo ne le bothata for yena at the same time e na ena le bana ba babedi in terms of like go ba le not having ntate and ke tolo ke acceptile ke selo monyane and ka sanka ka itumela lo affect a ke tselo maybe something lo it lo hot at a later stage wa bya but so far ke bona lo I've coped of course the way la go lo okay ene ke nyaka body advice telo maybe di ka tša go ntate pila okay I looked up to my children okay they were around me and I picked up bits and pieces from them to be a better person. But one thing I've learned from my mother is that I could go before I achieve the dreams. That's the one thing. Because I really solo the daily difficulty I'm for you and achieving new goals. As a job is about at the same time. There were times when I was sharing and I come back to off in the lower Dale, Mother religious too. You see, those memories can suddenly join as if like it was yesterday or what. So they come on America Island as striking, but at the end of the day, one thing I also learned gonna never give up on your dreams. Regardless of like the situation you'll make out Jonah, just push it and eventually your hard work will pay off.
Ke di doro di feng ha ntse go la tseno batla go di fitlhela
ge ne ke gola tolo tša ka ne le go studiša filimi goba yona go bula kgwebo ya film production company. So what happened to go there skole selo lo ke tsebe ke go pela ke bolela le bangwe ka sona balke after it's one of the leading film schools in South Africa, so it really yona skole selo le ke go tsena go ke ithuta ka tsona di bioscope ka la ke check registration fee ka bo yona le teng ka kushalo ye ke go di shaka botswana bote it's going to be another question a khona ga lo ke go di shaka botswana bote ke tlo khona wa skole se what then I look at something that is close to feeling. Ke ka bogolo ke feletse ke da journalism.
Thuto e bapetse karolo e bohlokwa kgolong ya Abram. Ho tloa bonyaneng, Abram e sale e le motho ya batlang ho iqalla kgwebo e leng ya hae. Dintho ha di aba bobebe ha Abraham a ne a qala kgwebo ya hae. Mme o ile a tlameha ho ithuta dintho tse ngata. Ha re kgutla papatsong, re tswela pele ka pale ya Abraham, moo re tlo utlwa hore o tswelletse jwang bophelong. Re le amohela hape ho Rands with Sense. Lenaneo le o thusang hore o nke diqeto tse molemo ka tjhelete ya hao. Kajeno re bua ka pale e kgothatsang ya Abram Molelemane. Mohlankana enwa o ile a ithuta ka thata hore a fihle moo a leng teng kajeno. Mme o mona hore phetela pale ya hae e kgothatsang. Theha tsebe haebe le wena o batla ho iqalla kgwebo ya hao.
Kgwebo ya gago e fetotse botshelo ba gago jang mabapi le taba tsa tšhelete?
Kgwebo ka tšhitšitše phelo ba ka mabapi le tšhelete kudu-kudu go tla go lotša go ka kgola go ke thekela bodilo tša go tshwana le bo di-equipment for kgwebo ka ke tshepe le gore ke be ke šomela company gona ka kgola o ka rekala tša mohuto so ke bona ka le gone go le lotše le gore ke kgona go di reka ka bakeng sa kgwebo ya ka.
Botshelo ba gago ha e sa le o simola kgwebo ya gago bo fetogile jang?
Ke bona ka re setse ke thoma kgwebo ka ke motho le o le maikarabelo ke bona ke ile le bagwera ba lore ba kgona go ba lore le same vision mostly ka batho le bona ba le kgwebo tša bona individual so ka re ke ka bogopolo ka bo change ka gona le lo tša tshwana le go sacrifice nka re ke sacrifice tše lo tše dintšhi gampe lo tša tshwana le bo di lenyalo bana bo di-girlfriend ke lo tšelo a ke no tšona ka go phelo baka ka se sebaka gobane ke ba lore ke lo tšelo gore if a dine space ka se sebaka gore ka kgona go maintainelo tša mohuto we ka kgona go maintainelo kgwebang so ke lo tšelo ka re ke di-sacrifice tšelo tša tshwana le wa menateng lo tša mohuto we and ke bona gape e le gore ke kgona go šomiša le tšhelete ka botlhale nna le kganya thomo go hwetša di-client mo lo ne di patela o na le tatse ke ne šomiša tšhelete na botlhaswa mo lo ne e ne re sa e tlhokomela I think ne le lack of experience but then got to a point mo lo ra gola re kgona ba lo ba tseba ke ntho botlhoko gore camera re tshwereng e le tee a enough go na le lo tše dingwe le re tlo di nyaka go tshwana le tšhelete ya go tlo printer out bo di-business card tšhelete ya go tlo thiba mabaka kwa lokoa so it got to a point mo le okay re decide le okay a re bule business account mo le okay tšhelete goba profit go le re kry-a 50% e ya ka go business account ya rena then the other 50% e tla be le re share amongst ourselves from na percentage ya ka lone ke kry-a for 50% ya ka le kganya nna ne ke most tšhelete ngwe ne ke šomiša for go saver for example ke savele for lo tša go tshwana le in future maybe ke tobe ka kgona go reka lo tša go tshwana le bo di-shares for example so ne ke savele for lo tša mohuto ngwe.
Jaanong ke mathata a feng a o kileng wa kopana le ona ha o ntse o leka go tsamaisa kgwebo ya gago?
the challenge ne ke ne ke la di tšere ba ka control production ne le taba tša go chargisha for the price tša rena sa tsebe gore batho ka ba charge bokae. For example lo tša tshwana le photography ne ke sa tsebe gore photography you can actually earn that much amount of money. Then it gets photography nearly $500. Really one of the challenges how to go about or approach about the client or the client. Next the client take the client. So in the only legit I had to figure out myself. So it was one of the challenges. The customer jaga di palala go patala ka nako le lo ja go tshwana le go tlhoka the advice mabapi le lo ja go tshwana go draft mo the contract lo ja botongwe.
Ke thuso efeng e o ka ratang go ithola gore o kgone go godisa kgwebo ya gago?
Ke bona lo thuso le ka ikela go kgona tšwela tša kgwebo ya rena pele go ba yona kgwebo ya rena gore gole ke lo tša go tshwana bo di-legal advice lo tša go tshwana le go manager yona di-finance tša rena tšhelete tša rena goba yona lo tša go tshwana le go ba motivated. Go na le yako tšeno le go bothata go rana kgwebo ke mo lore o fila o sana maatla o fila o ka botse o ka no latlhela tolo wa sa tšwela pele. I think it only everything in temporary now tlhakana le yona. So I think go no kala motho le wa go tlhotlheletša once in a while motho le you can talk to lo tša tshela le go I get maybe ka business coach or business advisor ke lo tšelo maybe motho o lo rana kgwebo ga gage a ka fela le tlhoko because I think for that person once in a while ke tlhoka lo tša motho we nka batla wala Godfella Productions eba an empire. Nka batla wala ke ya overseas go ne le branch ya Godfella Productions. So basically what I'm saying nka batla wala Godfella Productions ya tla ka tselo ya makatjera.
Abram, jaaka re bona kgwebo ya gago e sentse e tsamaya le wena go bona o le motho o ikemiseditseng o batlang go tswella pele, nna ke ka go eletsa gore o kopane le di-legal experts ba ba ka go thusa mabapi le dikontraka le dilonyana tseo, gape o kopane le motho o bitswang debt advisor o tla lekang go go thusa gore o bone gore o tsamaise taba tsa gago tsa madi jang, gape go kopantshe le life coach e tla lekang go go tlhotlheletsa gore o kgone go tswella pele re bona Godfella se e gole. Ana o ikemiseditse go bona kgwebo ya gago e gola e nna dilo tse o batlang e nne tsona?
Ke ikemiseditse ebile nka e thabela o ka tlhakana le batho ba lo ba thusa kgwebo ka e gola. Danke.
Le gona ga le bogile.
Go bohlokwa go kopa thuso ha o iphumana o le mathateng. Le borakgwebo ba hlahelletseng ka mahetla ba hloka thuso e itseng ho tswa ho ditsebi. Mme re ile ra kopanya Abram le ditsebi tsa rona. Setsebi sa pele seo a teaneng le sona ile ya ba debt counsellor ya rona.
Hi, Abram. Hi. So with your permission, we've pulled your credit report. Okay. And first of all, congratulations, you're one of the least indebted entrepreneurs I've ever met. And here what we have is your payment profile. So from this you have a credit agreement with Vodacom, which presumably is your phone account.
That's true.
And then you have a RCS Dion wired revolving loan facility with them. What we can see here is where there's a dark blue and a 0, this means that you're up to date with your payments in those months. And then where it's yellow, it means that you've been late in a payment. Okay. So it's been a default. So whilst your payments are pretty up to date, there have been 1 or 2 missed payments in the last sort of 6 to 9 months.
Okay.
And whilst that's fine, you're obviously on top of it and bringing it back into line, I must just tell you that negatively affects your credit score. Mm-hmm. So you really need to try and make payment every single month on time, okay. And that will increase your credit score, whereas missing payments reduces your credit score. And your credit score is something that you need to protect, okay. Particularly as an entrepreneur, because you're incredibly disciplined and save up money now, but there may come a time when you actually need to borrow a bit of money, maybe for a new laptop or something like that, preferably
I see.
good debt, where you're actually borrowing money to buy something which helps you create wealth and money and everything like that. So you really need to protect your credit score to make that as good as possible. And really, that's about it that you have in you. As I say, you've done an incredible job of keeping away from debt. There's really been no other inquiries on your account. So, well done. You've kept a very clean credit score, credit record. So one of the hardest things I found as an entrepreneur is separating your business from your personal.
Personal account, yeah.
So do you often do a personal budget for yourself?
Not really, but I try to, but it's not something that I really stick much to. You see, I just plan it in my head, but it's not something that is written down to say, okay, this month, this is what I have to sort out. These are my bills, and then this much needs to go into my savings account, or that much needs to go to a different account. So I can't really sort of be like very consistent in terms of like really budgeting. So it's just something that I plan in my head once in a while, and then just works itself out.
It's a discipline you need to stick to. And these, I have here a budget planner for you to sort of go away and really sort of sit down and think about and put in all your income and all your expenses, and those sort of 25 line items will really cover all the different expenses that you have. And it's going to be an interesting process for you to see how much money you have left at the end of every month. If you have money left at the end of every month, the first thing, the most important thing is to pay off any debt. So as you know, you just got a little bit of D-on-wired credit there. So it's making sure that is up to date and paid off as quickly as possible, because you'll be paying at a far higher interest rate there. So I would guess that account is you're probably being charged around 25% interest rate on that. Whereas, although you're very disciplined in savings, you'll be getting 5% in your savings account. So the most important thing is pay off debt first, and then save as well.
Ho laola tjhelete ya hao hantle ho bohlokwa haholo. Haeba o batla ho ba moeti mona lenanehong la rona, hore o fumane thuso ho tswa ho ditsebi tsa rona, etela randswithsense.co.za kapa o etele leqephe la rona la Facebook. Re tswela pele ka pale ya Abram ka mora papatso. Re le amohela hape ho Rands with Sense. Ka jone re bua ka pale e kgothatsang ya Abram Molelemane, mohlankana wa mane Muizenberg motse Kapa, ya nang le kgwebo ya media le design. Mme re ile ra kopanya Abram le ditsebi tsa rona. Setsebi sa pele seo a tianeng le sona ile ya ba debt counsellor ya rona.
Tell me, what are your sort of plans for the future with the business?
We're thinking of branching out. That's if we're really, we're growing. That's part of the plan. We're thinking of branching out, and obviously I think it's gonna get a point where we're gonna need to get extra heads on board, because at the moment just me and him, and I would have a few guys helping out, like freelancers. You can call them freelancers. But there's gonna be a point where I'd like to think that we're gonna have to have a permanent staff that are working on a full-time basis. So it's just getting more heads on deck and branching out. So I think that's the direction that we're heading.
Well, that's an enormous responsibility to take on. It's if somebody is coming to you and committing to you to work for you, you've now got another person you're responsible for, and he or she may well have responsibilities themselves. So all of a sudden, by employing people, you are building up more responsibility for yourself. So it's even more important that you keep your company books, your company accounts separate from your personal accounts. And every month, not only do you need to go through your own personal budget, but you also need to sit down with your partner and go through your company accounts as well. Do you have any questions from your side?
Yeah, just one actually. Some of the challenges that we have is that we find ourselves in a situation where the client doesn't pay on time, so which results in us being forced to go into a business account and taking that money to sort out, other errands that need to, be run, just to take care of the business. So it's a bit of a challenge for us. I mean, how do you maintain that relationship? Taking from your business sometimes just so that you sort of your own personal stuff, or sometimes taking from your personal account just so that you sort out your business. So it's a bit of a challenge. How do you maintain that relationship? How do you manage that?
You'll be in a very fortunate business if every single person pays you who owes you money on time, etc. So you do have to factor that into the management of your business. But the best ways you can protect yourself is having a contract in place, so the client signs something committing that they are going to pay you, and taking a deposit, and possibly part payments. So rather, as if you were building a house for somebody, you would want a deposit up front so you can go and buy the bricks and make sure that the work you're doing to the foundation level is being paid for. So it's exactly the same in any business. In terms of your business, maintain an open and honest relationship with your business partner. Sit down with him once a month, go through his budget, go through your budget, and go through the business's budget. And then the final thing is, sometimes companies and clients don't pay you. And the best ways to protect yourselves is to have a contract in place and take a deposit. And with that, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abram.
Re ile ra bua le Abram ka maikutlo a hae ka seo a se utlwileng ho tswa ho debt counselor ya rona.
Ke boledishana le ena mo debt counselor. Se lo de ke se lemo gore go bolela ga ka lena e ne ke thuta lo tse dintsi. Le ge ba le e ne ke tseba le gore tšhelete ka ne ke šomiša ka maleba ne ke sene dikoloto, mara intolo ke ile ka ke thuta yona go debt counselor ke taba go tshwana le bo di bookkeeping. Ke le bolelo botse ne le motho le di bookkeeping tša rena a di maleba mo le gore sometimes se ba bothata le gore ka tsalo botse re dira profit o ba re dira profit. So ke lotse le go tšolo re tlo di lebelele re tšo re tšwela pele gore lokiše dilo tša tša di bookkeeping le gore everything e be in order.
Jwalo ka borakgwebo bohle, ho bohlokwa ho fumana tsebo ka tsa molao. Hobane ho se etse dintho ka molao, ho ka senya kgwebo ya hao. Ho sa kgathaletsehe hore ke kgwebo e nyane kapa e kgolo. Tlhahisoleseding eo re fumaneng ho tswa ho leqwetha e bohlokwa haholo, e seng ho Abram fela, empa ho borakgwebo kaofela.
Great afternoon, Abram.
Afternoon.
Thank you so much for making time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for meeting with me.
How can I help you today?
Things like a drafting contract. I think if I get a client wanting us to design logos for them,
Right.
What we've experienced in the past is that we'll have someone will have the work done, several logos done for the person so he can choose from, and then we'll send them to that person. And then what then will happen is that at the end of the day he'll come back to us saying that he doesn't like any of the logos or such things where the actual work is done, but at the end of the day you get nothing from it.
So in that example that you used, going back to the brands, I would not do the work until I've established what the brief is, exactly what it is the client wants. And that's really about the first introductory meeting, establishing it, what's the scope of work, what are the deliverables. A contract, I can't take a contract in one aspect and use it in another. What we have to do is tailor that contract to the exact needs of the person, so that's the person that you're actually doing the work for, as well as yourself. What I would do is actually, when you're starting out with a client, is jot down what the work is. So you've had a client, you've had a consultation with me, and I've said to you, Abram, I need a logo, it needs to be red, I'd like some aspects to it. So that's what you know, red logo aspects. And then you send that through to a colleague, or you send that through to me, and that thing is checked so that we make sure that you're covered. So the contract is basically, it's a standard document, so it will have an introduction, it will have the body which talks about what you will do, your roles and your responsibilities, and at the end it will talk about a breach clause. The most important clause in a contract is your breach clause. I always say, if you've got a bond or a car or anything quite substantial, look at the breach clause, because that will tell you the contract kicks in when something goes wrong. And that's what it is, because you want to do business with people that you like. So you don't want to come to a meeting and go, right, I'm Abraham, thank you very much for meeting with me, here's my contract, and you sign it here. I think it's just really a question of saying, how do we then trust each other? How do we then start a relationship? Because a business relationship is ongoing.
Ha re khutla papatsong, re bona hore leqwetha la rona le ka neya Abram keletso efe hore a tsebe ho atleha. Re le amohela hape ho Rands with Sense. Lenaneo le o tataisang hore o tsebe ho etsa diqeto tse molemo mabapi le tjhelete tsa hao. Ka jano re utlwa hore Abram Molelemane, mohlankana wa lemo tse 26, o fumane katleho jwang kgwebong ya hae. O ile a ithuta ka thata, a etsa tsohle ho ya ka merero ya hae. Mme yaba o iqalla kgwebo ya media le design. Abram o ile a etela leqwetha la rona, le ileng la mo neha tlhahiso leseding e bohlokwa.
Okay, so how can I, as a small business owner, enforce a contract?
Okay, so first let me talk to you about the practicalities. When a contract is in breach, the standard norm is to send out a breach letter. Everybody knows what they look like. It normally says you've got 7 days with which to rectify the breach. Let's use the real life example about the logo. You had contracted me to design 3 logos for you. I delivered the logos on the 1st of April. You did not pay me for the work. Today is the 8th of April. So that's the first thing you do. The next thing you can also do is make sure that that breach is sent through an email address. Normally, you would need to post that letter, so you'd need to take it and post it to the address that's appearing on the contract, and that's important. So let's chat about some of the things that you could be to ensure that our elements are in your contract. So in terms of the things that are must, you must have, your contracts must be dated, you must have a place, you will have the contracting parties' names. If you're contracting with an individual, you have that person's ID number. If you're contracting, for example, with a business, is that business a CC? Are you registering a company? Are you registering a trust? And remember to put the trust number, the income number of the company, as well as the PTY. So those are some of the small things, because without those elements, it's very difficult to enforce. Another thing you need to be aware of is each page of a contract, no matter how small or large, needs to be signed by 2 witnesses. So at the end of the contract as well, there will be a section for 2 witnesses. Each page as well needs to be initialed by yourself. So these are some of the things that we would be able to assist with, or a person in the industry will be able to. Let's say you have a mentor, and these are the small things. Again, just remember about breach. Breach is really about thinking about what kind of things could potentially go wrong. And that aspect, I can't tell you exactly what must be in there or not, but one of the things you can think about is timing and deliverables. By when must you do something, and what are the expectations, so that you can manage that from the client side as well as from your side. If you take one thing away, remember that contracts are not complicated. They're all about you and protecting yourself and your business. What I'd like you to do is, from today, is just think about how you're engaging with your clients, existing clients and potential clients. Have a standard document that you have in your computer, on your cell phone, that you send out. What I like to advise clients is to do a terms of reference. So forget the word contract, rather think of a term of reference. Have 10 points and list down the points. So it will say, Abraham is able to do these services. So list your services, talk about what those services entail. If there's any other questions that you have, you're more than welcome to contact me and I'll be glad to answer them. I wish you all the best for the future and good luck.
Thank you.
Dilemong tseo a leng ho tsona tsa 26, Abram o ntse a na le bophelo bo bolelele, mme ho ka etsahala dintho tse ngata tse ka sitisang ditoro tsa hae. Ho tseba morero le sepheo sa toro tsa hao ho bohlokwa haholo ha o le rakgwebo ya itshebeletsang. Ke ka moo re ile ra kopanya Abram le life coach ya rona.
What can we focus on for you?
I really think that I have trust issues with what I do, really. You know, I sometimes have doubts in terms of like, am I really, gonna make it, or just fear of not really making it, like, just risking everything, giving everything, and then not getting anything in return. I just think really coping with the fear, getting rid of it entirely.
So if we could give you a confidence.
I would like to think that as well. I think that's the...
If we could give you that confidence.
Exactly.
Okay. The confidence that there is not as much to fear as you fear.
Yeah.
So with respect to this whole matter of confidence and self-doubt, where are you now? And when I say where are you, I mean on a scale of 1 to 10 again. 1 being, I am lacking horribly in self-confidence. I've got too much self-doubt. And 10 being, no, I'm okay. I'm confident and I've got absolutely no self-doubt.
Okay. 6. I'm at 6.
You would say you're currently on 6.
At 6, yes.
And by the end of this conversation, where would you like to be?
I'd like to be full on.
On a scale of 10, 1 to 10, you would want to feel like you are on a 10.
Yeah.
That's that. You have removed all self-doubt.
True.
I want us to embark on an exercise, if you would allow me.
Okay.
To try and see if we can deal with some of these self-doubt and self-confidence issues. Okay. And the exercise that I want us to embark on will require you to sit on the 2 chairs that are there.
Okay.
Where I would like you to identify any of those chairs and link it to the feeling of self-doubt.
Okay.
And of course, also identify one of those two chairs and link it to the feeling of absolute confidence.
Okay. Good.
So I'm going to ask you to stand up and take this seat.
Okay.
And tell me which seat do you want to associate with self-doubt?
With self-doubt. The left.
The left.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you please share with me as to when you are on this space of self-doubt, how do you feel?
Scared.
You feel scared.
Stressed. Miserable.
Now, I just want you to disengage with your self-doubt, if you can stand up and really, shrug yourself off from it.
Okay.
And again, nice deep breath, relax, and take that confident chair over there.
Okay.
So please take a seat.
Thank you.
And once again, in your own comfortable way, I just want you to describe the feelings that you have at this point in time when you are in this confident space.
I feel at ease. Happy. And bold.
Bold.
Yeah.
And in that space of self-confidence, and in terms of the feeling of it making you feel at ease, would there be some kind of an inner voice that goes with those kind of sentiments, or would it be something that is different from those sentiments?
There will probably be like a confirmation, like I told you you'll make it.
I told you you'll make it. I told you you will make it.
Yeah.
And when you hear that kind of voice, how do you feel?
All that fighting, all that hard work, because it really feels like I've been working most of my life, regardless of my age, but it does feel like I've really, really been working most of my life. And I really think that when I really get to that point where I really feel at ease, it's just confirmation that, okay, I told you you'll make it. Now you can relax, Now your hard work is finally paying off,
Kopano ya hae le life coach e hlahisitse dintho tse itseng tse ne di pateile. Empa dintho tsena ke dintho tse etsang hore a atlehe le ho feta kgwebong ya hae. Re tswela pele ka pale ena ha re kgutla papatsong. Re le amohela hape ho Rands with Sense. Lenaneo le o thusang hore o tsebe ho nka diqeto tse molemo ka tjhelete ya hao. Ka jano re bua ka ho ba rakgwebo ya atlehileng ya dilemong tse nyane. Mohlala wa sena ke Abram Molelemane, mohlankana ya nang le kgwebo ya media le design. Ho atleha ho bohlokwa, empa ho bohlokwa haholo ho dula o etsa tsohle hore o dule o ntse o fumana katleho ka nako tsohle. Re ile ra isa Abram ho life coach ya rona hore a dule a kgothetse, ho netefatsa hore bokamoso ba kgwebo ya hae bo dula bo kganya.
So please, if you can come back to your Just Me space.
Okay.
And be back to exactly where you currently are.
Okay, thank you.
What insights did you benefit from sitting in these two chairs? What came out to you?
What I learned is that in order for me not to feel, those negative feelings that I mentioned earlier on, feelings of, worry or whatever, in order for me not to feel those kind of things, I need to feel the way that I felt outside. So it's more of like those feelings need to be replaced with what's on that other side.
You think you need to be able to embrace more the feelings that
exactly.
they had that side.
Exactly true.
Now, when we started this exercise, in terms of this self-confidence,
Yeah.
you felt that you were at a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Where would you say you are now in terms of that feeling?
I could say 8.5.
So all in all, what value have you created for yourself today?
I just think it's a reminder. It's a sort of a reminder that it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. Like you actually doing something. You're in there, but you're not there yet. But you're in there, so it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Abram, I really want to thank you for the courage, and I also believe it's not that bad. And I think that you need to embrace that reminder and find a way of embracing more of those other things. So I think I need to acknowledge you and thank you for taking the right step to pursue your dreams.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you.
Jwalo ka mehla, re entse mosebetsi wa rona ka makgethe, mme re tshepa hore pale ya Abraham e o kgothaditse hore le wena o tswellise toro tsa hao pele. Empa re saletswe ke ntho e le nngwe fela ho thusa Abraham le wena moo lapeng, e leng keletso e bohlokwa ya marketing.
Een ding wat ek wel kan byvoeg is dat 'n mens nooit vir jouself short sell in hierdie besigheid nie. Op die einde van die dag as jy 'n goedkoper job vir iemand doen en daai persoon beveel jou aan, gaan jy maar op dieselfde prys met handhaaf. So jy gaan nooit vir jouself as 'n kwaliteitproduk of 'n diens op die mark stel nie. Jy moet in jouself glo. Jy moet nie skaam wees om markverwante pryse te vra nie, want die kwaliteit van werk wat ek gesien het wat hy wel op sy webwerf op hulle webwerf het, is goed. So die ding is as jy goed is, vra jy markverwante pryse. Een ding wat van uiterste belang is in die industrie, is jy doen nooit 'n werk verniet nie. Tog, sê nou maar hy besluit om 'n sekere diens te kan lewer. Sê nou maar byvoorbeeld, hy kan musiekvideo's skiet. Dit gaan nie uit die lug uitval nie. So wat hy wel kan doen is, sê nou maar daar is 'n band wat graag musiekvideo nodig het. Skiet dit verniet, sodat mense kan sien jy kan musiekvideo's skiet. En dan begin jy 'n kliëntebasis opbou.
Re ile ra etela Abram hape.
Leeto la ka le Rands with Sense ebile leeto le makatsang ka tsela tse dintšhi. Ne ke sa tshepe le nka tswa ke thutile dilo tse dintšhi so ka nako ya nyane so. Batho ba Rands ke batho ba le ke di-professionals ba tseba mmereko wa bona, ba tseba ntho e ba e dirang. Se sengwe le selo ke se lemogile ka nna gore regardless of mengwaga yaka ke bona le gore a se gore kgwebo yaka a e sepele gabotse ka mogolo nna ke nagana ka ona. Ebile botsebotse e tsamaya gabotse compared to batho ba bangwe le bona ba sa thoma kgwebo tša gona. So ke nto le gore ke ile molekana le gore okay botsebotse tsela le gore ke tshwere ke tsela ya nnete ya maleba, and nka tswela pele ke tshwere tsela ye ke itišitše ke tlo bana kgwebo ya ka ya atlega.
Re se re fihlile maqetellong a temana ya rona ya kajeno ya Rands with Sense, mo re ne re bua ka pale e kgothatsang. Re tshepa hore o ithutile ho hong kajeno lena, hore le wena o tsebe ho fumana tokoloho maemong a hao a tjhelete. Bekeng e tlang, re kopana le mmuhi e mong hape ya hlokang thuso ya rona. Ebang le rona hape ha re tswela pele ka ho thusa ma-Afrika Borwa ho etsa Rands with Sense. Ke nna Mmarona Kgwele. Salang hantle.